Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rilo, and welcome back to Anno. So in the previous episode, we were building our little base settlement, getting everything set up and everything started the way that we want to. We built quite a few homes, made quite a decent base settlement that we want to start with. We haven't really gotten to a point where we have a positive balance, which I think is something that we will focus on today. Basically just need more people within our village and then produce the requirements that they need, especially when we look at the tunics and then the pileus that they need. I did figure out something very cool that I didn't know before, which I believe is a new mechanic within Anno itself. So as we've done before, or in the previous episode, we had these production buildings needed for, let's look at the porridge. So we had these production buildings for porridge, for example, but you would have noticed that there's a increase or a particular attribute that it will give. So in this case, I believe it's increasing the population by 2. So what this means is if I add one of these porridge productions, let's add 2 of them right over here, and we look at our residences here at the bottom. I don't think the porridge one actually does provide that. I might be wrong, but I know for a fact that something like the pileus will actually help with that. So you'll see the need attributes there. I think that's what I'm looking for. It will increase your income and happiness. I don't think this one has the need attribute that we do. It does actually, population plus 2. So it does actually have an effect, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So, but they have to actively produce. That's the catch. So with that, we will need to add a warehouse, which isn't something you typically add, but yeah, we'll add a warehouse and then they will actively produce porridge within a city. Because to me, it sounds counterintuitive. You'd think that they don't want any production buildings close to your little settlements, but apparently they do. So yeah, we're going to keep it there, and yeah, we don't have the resources yet, but soon they will start producing and we'll see the effect they'll have accordingly. Right, so the one issue that we had is that we did not have enough resources here, so we placed down these little planned buildings, but we're going to remove them since this new thing that I found out. I think we're going to move them and move them closer to our actual little village. So we need to think where we're going to put them. We want to not put them to be too invasive, but also put them in places where they will actually help. So you can see here, many production buildings affect the attributes of nearby buildings while they are actively producing it. So in this case, we'll get some money back, and some of them do actually decrease it. So that's kind of what I was worried about. But in this case, we can just add these ones here. And as soon as they will start producing these goods, and in this case it will give us additional income, we should see that effect. And the same with the pileus, we'll also see, I think they increase income and happiness as far as I know. So you're going to add one of these here as well. Yeah, just like that. Very simple, very easy. And then I believe we should have enough wood to expand our population just a tiny bit. Right, so let's see, these guys are actively producing now. So now if we click on these buildings, we should now see, you see, there's a nearby spinner, and this will then affect the population. So you don't need most of your production within the vicinity. You just need at least one of them to get this effect. So that's pretty cool. So for now, we're going to keep it like that. That should be quite sufficient for us. What we do, however, want to do is also just expand or still keep these ones here. Like I said, we don't need all of them. They're just 1 or 2 of them to really take advantage of that effect. And then I also just want to check. We have quite a lack in wood, so we'll probably need to find another bush to get some wood. I'm going to add it just here for now. It's most likely going to be moved. And then I believe we should be able to add another sawmill. So yeah, that's for the base setup. So now what we just need to wait for, I'm going to speed up the game just a little bit. Let's just take our flagship and send it here to the other corner as well. They already have a That's pretty cool. We already have a villa. The governor villa is something that is quite core to the game as well. But that's something that we need to unlock with our secondary level of citizens. So the needs for them, what do we require? So we just need to have, I believe, at least one of these be fulfilled. And then once that's the case, we can then get the governor villa with a secondary level. But what I want to do is, though, as well... Oh, that's actually really pretty. I think this is the island that I want to buy. With this, like, really beautiful little arch here. This is wonderful. That's so cool. I don't think I have enough money to do that yet, though, so we'll unfortunately have to wait a bit. So let's just build our secondary Pileus Falter, and then also the additional farms. Why didn't it build the actual... Okay. I don't know why the farm part of it isn't there. That's interesting. It's complaining about farm fields, but I need to remove that. And we can go ahead and plant those fields. There we go. Alright, and then for this one, let's just remove these. I think there's still some minor bugs in the game that prevents to build some of these things, but now we should have enough sheep. And we should have enough hemp to fulfill the needs that we have at this current point in time.
It is time we attracted a higher grade of resident in the Plebians.
Oh yes, we can get the... Indeed, yeah. I think we should be able to do it now. Yeah, correct. So now we can upgrade a few of these to Plebians. There we go. And now that the particular type of citizen is upgraded, we can clearly see that there's quite a lot of additional needs that they need to be catered for. And each of these needs will have an additional bonus for us. So in this case, it will increase our population and income. This one will also increase our income. So we want to try and get the ones that will increase the income first. So in this case, usually it will be food. Does these guys do not have enough forage? So let's just build another one of these farms just to satisfy that need. Because it seems like it is going to become a bit of a problem. Because since they are not active, we are not getting their benefit from having them within our little town center here. So hopefully that will assist us. So now that we've unlocked the plebeians, we should be able to get the unlocks for bread, and I believe it's garum. So fishy condiment, interesting, and then bread is immense popularity and convenience. So yeah, bread is a very nice thing to have, and you can also, especially with bread and garum, those are things that I would start looking at trading and adding to your trading post. It's quite easy to produce quite a decent amount of it. And I see we also now producing porridge from here, so if you look at our resident, we should now see the effect. Okay, I believe porridge does not have an effect like I thought. So yeah, ignore that. But the rest we can see the effect here from the pileus, which is income, and then the nearby spinner also giving us some income. Right, so we will need quite a few more people in our little village. So we're going to add those, and we can see that our balance income is finally in the positive. So see, it's not that difficult, but you can easily overdo it because I don't have a lot of money left. So we just need to be very careful. And if you don't have money, it's very difficult to really expand, because now I have to wait for time, and yeah, it's not fun. So we've unlocked a new building material. So like I said, wood, in the previous episode I referenced timber, which is a very, very important resource. But now the secondary resource will be clay and building tiles. And then we'll get to, I believe, stone, and then the next one is marble. But clay is going to be one of your staple resources as well, so you'll want to make sure that you have enough clay. So the cool thing about this game is some of the buildings that you'll build will make use of rivers and the river banks. So you'll see there's all of these different nodes, and they are open, so you can either build these for clay. There will be ones for milling, and I believe there's other ones as well. I can't exactly remember what they're for, but those will be part of extending the functionality of your little village. We can see we don't have enough plebeians, so it is understandable. We did build some buildings that do require them to work there, and that's why we have the workforce shortage. So that's one of the things that you would want to balance within this game, is make sure that your workforce is always in balance. Otherwise, the production rate and the effectiveness of these things are going to be very, very slow. So what I want to do is I kind of want to build this road next to the river. So I can just want to build it all the way up to this point. I believe that will align next to the... There we go. And we connect it to our main road. Everything needs to be connected to the main road. Oh, that thing is not straight. Let's put it back there. And then put it to that section there. So that's always something that I'm very strict about, is just making sure that everything is straight and in line. So the next part that we need for our clay is we need this section here for charcoal. So charcoal is one of the resources that's also used quite a lot, and it's also quite dependent on trees again. So we will need to find a place with a decent amount of trees, but we don't have that much. So for now, I'm just going to add one. We don't need that much charcoal just yet. So for now, I'm just going to add this one charcoal burner here. You just need it for some basic clay production, so nothing too serious. I think the efficiency of this thing will be quite low, but it's okay. For now, we're just going to keep it like that. You'll see bread also needed, but for clay, we just need it for producing tiles. So I don't want to put that too close, so let's build a road around the warehouse and then add our clay productions right next to the river. Something also important to note is that your city has different ratings here at the top, and the island fire safety is one that's quite difficult to really get control of. It can cause different negative effects like larger fires and more destruction when those fires do occur. So that is something that you'll need to handle, and I do believe it can make your citizens unhappy if it's too high. So yeah, it's just something that we'll need to take into account. Can upgrade these 4 homes. I believe we need to upgrade 4 more. There we go, just so that we have enough workforce, because lower workforce also decreases the productivity. Great, so you're now gonna start producing some clay. It's the ratio of it isn't correct just yet, but we don't have the resources to really expand on that too much. So we'll get to that just now. What's this one? The crowd falls silent as you ascend the rostrum in the public square. You, a living symbol of the eternal city, must now find words to guide them. Declare the value that will guide your leadership: faith, pursuit of knowledge, honest labor, or liberty. Let's see here. So this is honest labor, but we'll see what effects it has. So more knowledge, less belief. Okay, but it only lasts for 4 hours. Yeah. At this point in time, knowledge is power. And this is one of the very cool parts of this Anno, which weren't in the previous one. Which wasn't in the previous Anno, sorry, Ben interrupted me. Is now that we have the ability to do research. So there's an entire research tree that we can go through, and we'll most likely go through most of these within this playthrough. For me specifically, I will build a villa soon, don't you worry. So I usually focus on the economic part of it before I actually do military, as if you don't have a strong economy, you're going to definitely have some problems. So you'll see here we have these few starting nodes. One of it's improving your trading, one you're having improved warehouse organization, and then the sewing circles will just give an additional knowledge effect for those buildings. So we'll see there is a chain that it needs to go through. So improving the port and then sewing circles. So knowledge, again, it's very, very important and very powerful. So we'll want to have this effect for the sewing circle that we've just built here. So these guys here. So they will then provide extra knowledge for the buildings around them, which is exactly what we need. Right, so let's start finding a spot where we can build our bread production. I was thinking also we can utilize this little island here. We do have a mountain here, so we can probably build an aqueduct soon, because aqueducts are related to these mountain slots. So I'm thinking of maybe building our bread factory here, and we do have areas here to mill the bread and everything, or the wheat. So for that, I think we can start creating those buildings. Yes, Ben, I will deal with them accordingly. Right, so these farms are quite a tad bit larger than the others. So I'm probably not going to get a perfect square with them. So, but it's okay. We can add our wheat farms accordingly. Next to the ocean as well. There we go. I think 2 is okay for now. And then we'll see we need the milling ability. So, like I said, we have the 2. I think actually we can put it here. That's actually not a bad decision. But I'm going to put down 1 for now. Yes, I know, Ben. I know there's a big shortage. I will resolve that in due time, don't you worry. And then for these ones, we will also need to have a warehouse close by and connected to our main roads. So let's connect it to our main road like that. And then we will build our necessary warehouse right here in the middle. And that will then start collecting our much needed wheat. And we will mill the wheat. And then we just need to build our bread, or bakeries. But first I need to just get more people to work there. So let's take these first 8. That should give us enough. Awesome, and we've unlocked the new items, but we'll look at that very soon. Also just need to place a warehouse down right here for that mill. And then we need the last pit for this, as we'll need to have the bakery built. I don't want to build the bakery too close to the farming area, as the bakery can catch fire. It does increase the fire hazard for the buildings around them. So what I'll do is we can probably think of building them close to here, because these things also give quite a bit of fire hazard. But it also gives more income for the area. So it has positives and negative effects. So I think what we can do is we can probably build a bakery. Let's look at building a bakery right here. And that should give us quite a decent amount of income, but then we'll need to ensure that we cater for the fire hazard accordingly. So yeah, I'm going to build 2 additional bakeries here. That is going to be an area for expansion. Let me maybe just design it a bit better. And let's remove these 2. There we go. So those bakeries will be used in due course. And then again, we'll need another warehouse for this bakery. So maybe I should actually move it to this side. But it's fine. I'm definitely going to build additional buildings around here to expand our settlement. So it should be okay. So it's going to get the coal. And then we'll see the effect that it will have. We should see quite a decent increase in our income, which is what we need. Cool. Now that we have the basics set for bread, we definitely need to look at the use of vigiles, which is going to be the firemen, essentially. They are core to keeping your village safe, because as soon as there's a fire and you don't have anything or anyone to cater to that fire, you're going to have a big problem on your hands. So you need some tiles for that as well. I see that we're still playing at the fast speed, but that's okay. But while we wait for our tiles to accumulate, we can now unlock the secondary part of the Plebians. So we can build our sanctuary and our grammaticus. And these are also needs that we need to fulfill for our Plebians in order for them to level up to the next stage. And we can see it gives them additional faith, happiness, and then also knowledge, 3 knowledge for the people within that particular area. before that, we first need to cater for fires. I don't want a fire to break out here and cause us a lot of problems, which is very, very easy to happen. So we'll build that. And then we can see what's the construction costs of these. Okay, they are quite expensive. So you'll just have to wait for us to get enough money to cater for them. So in the meantime, I think we can just expand our little city just a tad bit. And we will build all of the necessary buildings that they do need. Because as we expand, obviously these things have limited ranges. So we'll need to cater for that as well. I actually think I can build 2 more here. Like such. Let's do that. Yeah, I know. There's definitely some fire hazards. You don't have to tell me that again. But I'm going to wait for us to get a few more tiles. Once we have enough tiles, we can build the last traditional buildings for our plebeians that we need to cater to the public service section. And then we'll close off this episode. So we've now gathered enough of our tiles to now build our sanctuary, as well as the grammaticus. So again, these things we would try to centralize rather than putting them on the edges, because it has a specific area of effect. But if you don't have them directly in the middle, don't worry too much. We will gain the effects of them, and we would also be able to expand on them once we get better roads. As soon as we get to stone roads, the range of these things will improve quite a lot. So don't worry about that too much just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the sanctuary on this side. And then the grammaticus I'm going to place here on the top end. Probably going to have to place more grammaticus soon. But for now, this is perfect that we need. You'll see our knowledge again will start to increase the more believers we get. But we need to select a patron first. I usually like to select Ceres. Probably butcher the name, but anyway, because of the effectiveness that we get with production of certain resources. This one is more for ocean-based, and Mars is obviously more for war-based. So Neptune, I don't really use Neptune that much, so we're gonna select Ceres. There we go. And I believe with each believer we increase our belief, and then this will obviously help your citizens to be more happy. And I believe it also increases the knowledge. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I think from a knowledge, everything else is sorted out. Perfect. So we actually do have enough to now, before we close off, look at the governor's villa. This thing. This is a very, very important building. It uses certain tokens and stuff that you can add to your island to get certain buffs and benefits, which we definitely will be using and needing. But we need to keep it far away from a beach, because this will be the first thing that enemies would try to attack, because I believe it's like your city center essentially. So I'm going to put it here, which is quite a far point from our beach. So for now, we just need to connect it to... Yes, I know there's a shortage of workforce. We just need to connect it to the main road. There we go. That's it. So we'll build our city, or some of our city, around this area where we have our governor villa, and you can see there's some specialist slots that we can then buy from other players. Yes, this is just what's strong and what's weak against what. That's all cool. And then just a gift of 10,000 denarii. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I think this was I want to speak. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's been quite a pleasure playing, and please like and subscribe if you do like this type of content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.